Okay, so we're just going to dive right in here. This is my video for assignment number 3. I basically opened up R, imported my data set through here from Excel. As you can see it here, my data set's education. We're creating a variable here, def.par. We're pushing on parameter to that variable. Parameters basically, it allows us to set graphical parameters, and this part allows us to input our parameter values through the code. So you have parameter values set here, and set here. Attach, this function attaches my dataset education to here, so I can use variables from within inside of the code. Layout basically shows how the graph is going to look. So this is what creates the infograph. In layout, the function basically divides your infographic into rows and columns, just as you specify. And right here, we want a 2 by 2, so 2 rows, 2 columns. Matrix creates a matrix from the values that you put inside of here. So with this list, we want, since we're doing a 2 by 2, we need 4 values in here. And the way that the matrix is numbered is quadrant 1 would be here, quadrant 2 would be here, quadrant 3 is here, and then quadrant 3 is, no, I was right, quadrant 3 is here and quadrant 4 is here. So for example, quadrant 1 and 2 has our first plots, so 1, 1, our first plots are in quadrant 1 and 2, and we see here, quadrant 3 has our third plot, histogram, and quadrant 4 has our second plot, which is our density plot, and you see right here. By row, labeling this as false, basically instead of creating this thing by rows, it'll create it by columns now. This initializes the bar plot, creates a table, and it pulls the values from my dataset education, and I have a region column in there. And this main essentially names the title of your graph, so number of states per region, YLab is the Y label, number of states, bam. XLab is the X label, region number, right here. Color, I colored it light blue because, well, it looked boring with their normal colors. Parameter here, par mar, basically sets the parameter values for the margins. Using C to create the vector, you have this value defines the bottom, this value defines the top, this value, left side, top side, and right side. Attach attaches my dataset education using the library command. I'm calling forward sm. We are creating a variable region f and pushing onto it factor, and within the factor we're pulling from my dataset and the variable's region. We're basically telling it that this variable right here has 4 levels within it, and we're creating that through the list. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're labeling each of these labels with northeast, mid-north, southeast, and west, respectively. SM density compare initializes the comparison density plot. The first thing that goes in here is whatever is going to be on your x-axis. The second thing is what's being plotted, which is regions. So you can see here, whatever's on my x-axis went first, and the regions are plotted, which is the second variable. This XLab labels the x-axis just like it does on the other ones, and color, I am setting the color for each of the regions through this right here, so it matches up with the labels that are created. LWD equals 4. It kind of messes with the thickness of these lines. It's kind of hard to see some of the colors, so I made them thicker. And this sets the limit. xlim equals C. Creates a list to set the limit between 150 and 500, and I do this for the histogram as well. Title main allows us to create a title for the main plot of the main plot, which is the density plot for this code. These two, just like in the previous video I have, basically helps create and make the legend the way that it looks now. We're pushing onto this the list of 4 separate, these regions, and length kind of lets us define the length of our vector, and we're pulling that from the levels that are inside of region F, what we've defined here. Legend creates that legend, lets us put one legend on there, and again it's pulling the levels from region F, and it's taking the color fill from what we've defined here. So that's what's making these tiny little squares in the colors. Again, this is the parameter margin definitions. So we're defining each of the parameters through these numbers right here. So 5 creates the bottom, this creates the left side, this creates the top, and this creates the right side. And you could do MAI, which then you could change these and it would be inches instead of lines. MAR measures it in lines. Histogram, HIST, creates or initializes a histogram. Right here would be your x-axis, and you're breaking it by 50. And what that means is the label down here is split into values or increments of 50, and that's how it increases throughout the x-axis. This is the Y label, number of recurrences, as you can see here. X label, per capita spending, as you can see here. Main gives a title to the graph. This, again, sets the limit just like we set here. And I changed that to light gray, again, just to add a little bit of color. Developing printing, we want whatever image is created here to be printed out and saved as a PDF. So as soon as you tell it that you want it saved as a PDF, you have to give it a location to where you want it to be saved, and give it a name, and then create the file .pdf. And then parameter definition, so whatever we define here, that pulls all the values from here, puts it there, and we're just calling forward this to define the parameters of our wonderful infographic here. So now let me show you what I did to combine the PDFs. So as soon as I ran this, it created a PDF on my desktop right here. And this is my product that I basically have. I attached the Wing Wang to the bottom of this PDF and successfully merged the two PDFs. And that is my video. Thank you.